Welcome, everyone, to this very special NBA presentation on Veterans Day, where we salute the men and women who protect our country. Kevin Harlan here alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. So happy you've joined us today. A contest between conferences, Phillips Arena, Atlanta, where the Hawks take to their home floor. This is their first chance to take a look at the Jazz this season. Last season, they split the series with each team able to win on the road.
Well, last year, these teams split the two games they played, something we see so often in these interconference series.
Presented by State Farm, here are the starters for the Utah Jazz. Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson are the front court. Bella's out there with Devin Harris. And for the Hawks, Williams and Smith are in there at the forward positions. Heinrich and Johnson in the backcourt. And it's Horford at the 5. And the basket by Harris. Steve, you alluded to the two games they split last season, and that really is the case, isn't it, Clark? When two teams see each other so rarely, you can often throw out the records.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right there, Kevin. That's definite. I mean, you're just not sure what you're going to get from those games.
Here's Heinrich after Devin Harris's score. The shot by Heinrich, no good.
That's a huge part of what they want to do defensively. Limit his easy chances inside.
Misses in close. And it's the Hawks with the ball. A tough loss coming against New York in their last game played.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot that went right in that game. It was one of their flatter performances that we've seen this year.
Yeah, I thought they were like week-old pop that didn't have the top on it. I mean, the energy they needed to keep themselves in the ball game, it just was never there. They were bad.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Kevin, I was able to speak with Tyrone Corbin for a moment. In terms of their defensive attitude coming into this one, he said, we've been protecting the rim very well at that end of the floor, and that's something I want to see continue today. Guys?
Great stuff, Doris. Thanks. That's a mantra, Clark, we're going to hear, I think, a lot from coaches. Defense first.
Yeah, you hear it all the time, Kevin, and that's the identity they want to have today, and I think it'll work for them as long as they execute it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing to say it, but you got to bring it. And I think this team has to show great energy and aggression early on if they're going to win this game. Well, last year was a very tough year for Jazz fans, and so many things went wrong for them. If you look for a bright spot, maybe it's their play against the Eastern Conference. They went 18-12 against the East.
Just 4 to shoot. Harris drops it in from 12 feet. Harris has got 6 points. Heinrich with it. Williams kicks to Horford. Jefferson on him. There's the dish to Heinrich. Here's Johnson. Jefferson with the rebound. More on the Jazz against the East, Clark. They can play that more physical style of ball that is, I don't know if it's realistically a part of what the Eastern Conference or the perspective or however you feel about the way they play, but I guess they got that tag of being a more physical conference in the West.
Yeah, they do have that perception, and I don't think it's always 100% accurate, but nonetheless, the Utah Jazz are a hard-nosed team, and by nature, when teams try to slow it down and get chippy against them, that's their comfort zone, right in their wheelhouse. They love playing that way.
Now here is Harris, following the miss by Al Horford. Here's Kirilenko, looking for his first bucket of the game. Releases from 15. The rebound by Johnson.
I tell you, the D was really lax there. I mean, they know he really struggles from that range.
Defended by Jefferson. Gets it to go. And it's a tie ball game.
He's a pleasure to watch on the offensive end. I know I wouldn't want to guard him.
Harris outside. Ajah Bell on the wing. Who's guarded by Johnson. And there's Millsap. That's good on the assist by Bell. Millsap got his first points of the night. And here's Heinrich. Backing him down is Johnson. The jump hook. It's a look. And there's Horford. That's good on the assist by Johnson. 8 points for Horford. There's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Right side, Kirilenko. Now Smith defending. Millsap. He's guarded by Williams. Jefferson. Williams pulls it in.
Well, that's definitely a good look. I mean, the defense can't be that relaxed. I mean, they got there and expect him to miss consistently from there. He's too good.
13 feet out. Again, the Hawks score.
Nice piece of work there. Find a little space and pull the trigger.
Here's Harris. You know what? And so lots of scoring in that competitive. And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far.
Boy, Devin Harris, maybe the fastest scoring guard in the league. He's a kind of a combo guy in between a point and a two, but at 6'3", lightning speed, he can really move.
So with Johnson sitting on the bench, here's the group that Larry Drew has on the floor. Williams and Smith are in there at the forward positions. Heinrich is out there with Crawford, and it's Pachulia in at the 5, home in the paint. And so here is Atlanta, following the three-pointer by Utah. Smith kicks to Crawford. A baseline J. That's good. We talk about Devin Harris, a combination of driving ability plus a nice step-back jumper make him a real handful for the defense.
Yeah, you know, but going back to his days in Dallas, he was maybe their best perimeter defender as well. I mean, with that great lateral quickness and good hands. That's one area of his game I'd like to see him return to, being locked in and being that disruptive defensive force.
Here's Millsap. He had a 24-point outing in their last game against Orlando. Guarded by Crawford. Shot clock at 6. And that one's good. Millsap. Millsap's got his second bucket of the night.
That's 4 of their last 5 buckets now coming in the paint area.
And they're in attack mode right now, barreling in there with bad man intentions.
Now here's Heinrich. Still looking to get on the scoreboard. Guarded by Harris. Heinrich passes to Crawford. Shoots over Miles. Crawford, no luck. Utah leading.
Boy, you look at the way the Hawks finished last season, and you thought they'd slip early in the playoffs. But they came out a different team.
Now Hayward. Harris outside. We have a step back. Rebound Atlanta. Back to the Hawks. They went into the postseason losing 6 in a row.
Obviously something clicked, though. They won their opener in the playoffs in Orlando. Went on to win that series and took Chicago to 6 games as well, Kevin.
Now here is Smith after Devin Harris's miss. And the shot is good.
Well, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
Here's Millsap following the score by Josh Smith. Smith is whistled for reaching in. That's his first foul. Atlanta making some changes. Al Horford is checked in for Pachulia. Powell comes in for Josh Smith. And Damian Wilkins subbed in for Marvin Williams. The Jazz also changing it up. Derek Favors checked in for Millsap. Bell comes in for Gordon Hayward. And Earl Watson is subbed in for Devin Harris. Here is Miles. His last outing, 16 points for him. Here's Favors. The Jazz with another miss.
Unnecessary to go to the fadeaway there. It wasn't needed. Could have just kept it simple and taken the easy shot.
Favors is tagged with the reach. That's his first foul. Here's Crawford looking for his first bucket of the game. Here's Horford. Hits the close-range jumper. And it's a 3-point Hawks lead.
It's been all about ball movement here. Great passing.
Yeah, anytime you've got an unselfish team, the ball will find the open player.
Now, here is Bell. And Crawford picks him up defensively. Here's Miles. Off target with his 3.
Al Horford got a nice big extension from the Hawks, Kevin, going into last season, and I think he earned every penny of it. He had his best pro season yet.
Here's Crawford. Left side Wilkins. Lock at 6. Got a piece of it. And it's recovered by the Jazz.
Unnecessary pass there. He's got to make a better decision.
And it's good.
That's how it works. Your defense feeds into the offense.
Yeah, excellent work, I thought. Solid work on both ends in that particular sequence.
I like that note there on Horford. Clark, he's a terrific player, deserved the money. No drastic changes either in his numbers after the big contract signed. Steve, just a steady improvement in every facet.
Yeah, that's right, Kevin. The career highs in field goal percentage, free throw percentage, assists, points. I mean, he's really developed into a rock-solid power forward, kind of an old-school power forward. He just does a little bit of everything down there.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And guys, I thought it was a breakthrough performance in last year's playoffs for Jeff Teague. I mean, the injury to Kirk Hinrich created an opportunity for him to play, and he took advantage of the minutes.
And you talk about Jeff Teague, Clark. He was really impressive in that series against Chicago. Got his chance, as you said, after the Hinrich injury, and made the most of it. His tremendous speed really changed the way Chicago had to defend. And I thought he played a big role in Atlanta's fight. They gave Chicago a really tough battle.
And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
A tight game here. Neither team has been able to gain an upper hand on the backboards.
Well, both teams really getting after it inside. It's been an interesting battle.
Here's Price. Deflects the pass.
He really didn't have the room there to make that pass, guys.
Here's Teague. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Great awareness by fouling on that layup. Make him earn 2 points.
Yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. I mean, send them to the line instead of giving up an easy 2.
No good on the second free throw.
Not shying away from contact. They're getting to the line more this quarter.
I like their aggressiveness. They're not settling for outside shots. They're really getting into the paint and forcing some opportunities.
Here's Price. Lobs the alley-oop pass. Trying to go big for the alley-oop, but good defense got in the way.
Boy, a lot of darkness there. No daylight.
Hello and happy Veterans Day. The Suns picked up a win against the Pacers and
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Guys, the Jazz weren't terrible on the road last season. I mean, they didn't hit the 500 mark, but I don't know if that was really the source of their problem.
Our second half of basketball and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. And so in the game for the Jazz, Kirilenko, Millsap, and Jefferson are the front court. Bell is out there with Devin Harris. Here's Horford after Al Jefferson's score. Backing him down is Johnson. And the ball goes out of play following the shot. Here we are in November, and let's see how things are going out east in the early season. Look at the Heat. Right now they're off to a fast start. First place in the conference. And, of course, the Atlanta Hawks. They're way down there.
Well, right now for the Hawks, they've started the season in a tailspin. This was not what was supposed to happen.
It's almost like they were too relaxed coming into the season. I mean, you can't just expect to be good. You've got to earn it in this league. It's too competitive.
Backing down is Jefferson. Over Horford. Al Jefferson again. Jefferson's got his second bucket. Well, one thing about the Jazz on the road, Clark, they fouled so much last year, they wouldn't get the same calls as the away team.
Yeah, they fouled a lot. They were right up there near the top of the league. And when you do that on the road, when you foul and you're sending the home team to the line, that allows that team to get back defensively on every possession. That's a tough way to win. They've got to get better defensively this year.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz.
Johnson suffered through a subpar shooting year last season due to that elbow surgery that he had in December. Probably tried to come back a little too quickly, and you could tell it really affected his game.
Here's Harris. 8 points for him. He dishes it to Bell. And it's Johnson picking him up. Now, here is Bell. 6 to shoot. Kirilenko for the lead. Cannot hit. So the Hawks will take it the other way. As we get back to Joe Johnson, Steve just talking about him, and Clark, that elbow, as you mentioned before, gave him trouble all season long.
You know, Kevin, one of the things about being injured and having a surgery is you can get back and play, but it usually takes a full season or half a season before you can give the injury the kind of attention that you want to give it to get well. So that's why the offseason going into next year is going to be really important. It bothered him. I know it did, and he still played through it.
Well, you know, I mean, if you rush getting a guy back on the floor and don't let that injury completely heal, you just cause him more problems.
And that's part of the business of pro sports. When you are able to play, even if you're not 100%, guys feel an obligation to do that, and they also feel pressure to do that.
Now here's Johnson. Josh Smith unable to get his shot to go. Heinrich dishes to Johnson. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down. Johnson's got 4 points in the quarter. Harris with it. And Bell kicks to Millsap. Nice movement. Bell's shot is good. Bell's got his second bucket of the night.
You know, after the disappointing end to their 2010 playoff push, the Hawks decided to make a change at the head coaching position and went with Larry Drew at the helm.
Atlanta calls timeout. Clark back to Drew. They had Mike Woodson. He took him to the playoffs, but Larry Drew takes his place. Drew was on his staff. It was scrutinized early, but, you know, Steve, he took him back into the playoffs and deep into the playoffs.
Well, and that was their goal. They wanted to get back to winning a series in the postseason. And Drew was able to do that. They beat Orlando in the first round, and then they gave Chicago all they could handle in round 2.
Millsap with the steal.
Well, credit the defense, but you've got to be more careful with the ball.
And the basket by Harris. Clark and Steve, this game has a lot of character here in the third period.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I love seeing this type of action, a competitive, compelling matchup. A lot of lead changes here so far.
Yeah, 6 in total, folks. So this has been a great game. Both teams playing hard and really competing out there. Well, you look at Atlanta's team makeup last year, and it was similar to previous seasons. Very talented front court, some strong wing players, but nobody really running the show, and that was one of the reasons they traded for Kirk Heinrich at midseason.
Here is Miles. Here's Okur over Pachulia. No good from Okur. Back to Atlanta. They haven't had a controlling point guard in quite some time, Clark. You know, we heard Steve talk about Heinrich. Good pickup. They may still be looking for a little bit more.
Yeah, I think you may be right. Eventually, it always seems to catch up to them not having that elite, premier point guard type. They played well in the postseason without one, but they'll need a true floor general to become great to take that next step.
Remember a couple years ago, they had that high pick, and they could have chose
Chris Paul, CP3. Right. I remember that.
And they went another direction. Here is Miles. And the rejection by Smith. With this chance, I'll show you the league's most intimidating shot blocking defenses from last season. In third, the Jazz.
Yeah, so much of their defense revolved around their ability to block shots in the low post. That's why their numbers were so good last season.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Al Horford, he's checked in for Pachulia. Howell comes in for Josh Smith. And Damian Wilkins subbed in for Marvin Williams. Here's Teague. He's covered by Watson. Takes it up, and it's sent back by Jefferson. Throws it from deep. Watson. No good. And the game still closely contested as we end the third quarter. What can you say? It's time for the fourth quarter and time to check in with the fourth member of our team, Doris Burke, for our Sprite Spark Report. Hi, Doris.
Well, guys, it was the stretch by the Hawks that garnished the Sprite Spark today. The last 2 quarters have been about maintaining the lead they built in that first quarter. 1 more quarter to go, and they'll complete their mission, guys.
Thank you, Doris. They made a statement with that big run, Clark.
They sure did. I mean, actually, this team has what I like to call spurtability.
Clark, that's becoming one of our trademarks right there.
Without question.
We're all over it.
One of the great basketball words out there.
And Clark, I think the defense was sort of shell-shocked by that spurtability. They were reeling.
So with Smith sitting on the bench, here's the group that Larry Drew has on the floor. They've got Horford. Damian Wilkins out there with Josh Powell. Then it's Crawford, and it's Heinrich in at the point guard. Hayward can't hit. The Hawks leading by 3. And here's Heinrich. Crawford outside. Goes up. Heinrich outside. Favors against Crawford. Goes back up. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's on Al Jefferson.
Jamal Crawford was the NBA's 6th man of the year 2 seasons ago, but last season his shooting percentages really dropped across the board. He just wasn't able to have that consistent year again.
Here's what Atlanta's going with right now. Collins is checked in, and it's Smith in for Josh Powell. Utah also making some changes. Andre Kirilenko is checked in for Hayward, and Devin Harris is subbed in for Earl Watson. Now here is Harris. Bell passes to Jefferson. Backs him down. Fades away. And that one's good. Crawford really pushed Steve for a contract extension, you may recall, prior to last season and was unhappy that he didn't get one. So, Clark, I'll pose this to you. Do you think that he might have played a role, without that contract in his struggles?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's hard to separate that when you're a player and you're desiring a certain level of security. And when that doesn't happen, it can subconsciously weigh on you and affect how you go about your work. So I think that's very, very possible that happened.
Back to Kirilenko. He feeds it to Jefferson. Backs down. Goes up low. He lays it in. Jefferson's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well done, finishing that one off.
Atlanta calls timeout. Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Larry Drew's huddle. He said, we are this close to finishing them off, but the job is not done yet, and I don't want to see any let-up out there. We'll see how well his point got across, guys.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Memo Okur is checked in for Jefferson, and Paul Millsap is subbed in for Derek Favors. Now here's Johnson. Now T. Devin Harris covering. Over Harris, and no one able to grab it as it goes out of bounds. Here's Harris. And Millsap back it in. Harris outside. 5 to shoot. Open look. And Horford pulls it down. Horford's got his 4th rebound in this one. Johnson against Harris. Now here is Horford. Here's Teague. Defended by Bell. The Hawks again can't hit.
And you got to like the defense inside, really protecting the rim.
Challenging shots and making his presence felt around the rim, that's exactly what he can give you.
Now here is Harris. Outside Kirilenko. Defended by Wilkins. And that's collected by Smith. Just a tiny lead for him.
Yeah, but a chance to make it grow here.
Now T. Backing him down is Johnson. Trying to get back on track. Connects! And the Jazz call time here. They're trailing by 5. There's 37 seconds left in the game. Guys, your thoughts?
They need to get a quick bucket here. If there's more than 24 seconds left afterward, they can try for a stop. If there's less, they'll have to foul.
Marvin Williams is checked in for the Hawks. Heinrich comes in for Jeff Teague. Al Jefferson is checked in for the Jazz. Harris dishes to Jefferson. The jump hook, count it! What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
His presence in the paint gives their offense such a valuable dimension.
And they go to the intentional foul. Here's Heinrich. And so they foul intentionally. Gets the first. That gives him a 4-point cushion. 2 for 2, and it's a 5-point ball game.
Well, he handled his business at the line, and now it's a 2-possession lead.
Right side Jefferson. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
He's just so clutch. Here's a guy you want on your side with the game on the line, Kevin.
And they need to stop the clock, so there's a foul.
A good foul. You got to stop the clock in this situation.
Exactly, Steve. I mean, the clock is their biggest ally right now. They need as much time as they can.
Perfect from the line, and it's a 5-point ball game.
And that'll do it, Kevin. Those last free throws were the icing on the cake.
And the Jazz call time here. They're down by 5. There's 14 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
The idea here, guys, you get the quick score and then immediately foul.
Steve, if they do get that hoop, then they can actually try for a quick steal on the inbounds pass before foul.
And he commits the intentional foul. Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. Gets them both, and it's a 7-point ball game. Here is Harris. Guarded by Heinrich. No good. And so the Hawks take the win.